I'd see him sitting on that couch all day long, just staring at that Hollywood hogwash.
Our favorite show was Hollywood Hogwash.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Hollywood Hogwash. I'm Andrew Pisano, along with my brother Joe Pisano and Aaron Rosa.
Wow.
It's another Josh-less podcast because the guy is too afraid to watch these scary movies.
So scary.
This movie is the most fun movie ever.
I sent him the trailer and he was like, yeah, I'm out on this.
Josh is too scared.
And then we're watching it 2 minutes in, I'm like, this is the funniest movie of all time. This is not scary
It's
at
a
all.
comedy. It's a comedy.
Right.
It's unbelievable. I could even show you what Josh texted me. I sent him the trailer. He goes, I just don't want to do it. My dreams have been weird enough lately. I don't want to influence them even more. I said, you're worried about dreams?
He's fighting his own brain. he has a war against himself.
And then I sent him the trailer. He goes, yeah, I'm gonna 100% pass on that. I didn't need to see that headless dude with a chainsaw.
Wow.
Oh,
Which it was a woman, but
Josh, please donate your brain to science. We need to study this.
Jesus Christ. So yeah, Josh is not here, and I guess he won't be here next week either.
Probably
We're going to be doing another horror
Probably
movie
not.
for October. But yeah, I haven't seen this movie in maybe 20 years. I'm
Been a
pretty
long
sure
time.
it was in high school. Actually, I know it was in high school when me and my friends watched this movie. So I think I only saw it the one time, but it stuck with me. You know, I forgot a lot that happened in the movie, but it did stick with me that I really enjoyed it, and this podcast was a great excuse to watch it again.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's so much fun. I hadn't seen it in a while either, but I probably saw it more times than you. I'm
I
guessing.
think this is only the second time.
Because I'm admittedly a huge Bruce Campbell mark,
Uh-huh.
but god damn, this movie is so much fun. This is really where Ash becomes Ash in this movie.
Right.
The first one, they kind of they get their feet wet in this world, but we finally get to see Ash in this one.
And he's such a great actor in real, right now.
Yes,
For him to be so bad in this, you're almost like, was it on purpose?
I think it is on purpose.
Some of it's just overacted
Yeah.
to a point where you almost have
I
to
mean,
laugh.
it's super campy.
Well,
Yeah.
some great. Joe and I were talking earlier about how we read Bruce Campbell's book, and some really good backstory for this is when Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi were younger, they loved the Three Stooges. So factor that into this movie. It
That's
makes
true.
a ton of sense.
Yeah, it's
how
kind of like
this movie
the
is
Three
way it is.
Stooges versus zombies, or
So much of it is just like
Right.
Three Stooges shit getting hit in the face.
Yeah. The movie's a lot of fun. We're going to talk about it in full detail later. First, we need to thank a new patron. So thank you to Deadly Bane.
Yes.
For signing up at patreon.com/Hollywood Hogwash. We're currently watching Loki, season 2 of Loki. 2 episodes in, so far so good. You know, looking forward to more. So join and watch it with us. Patreon.com/Hollywood Hogwash. And speaking of Hollywood Hogwash, let's get to the news and rumors. So Deadline reports Deadpool 3 is no longer coming out in May of next year due to the ongoing actors' strike. This comes as no surprise.
Oh, son of a bitch.
The director said that half the movie has been shot and edited, which, think about that. That's got to be tough to resume filming 6 months or more later.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's got to be rough.
It's got to be rough, but how many times have we seen movies go back and do reshoots months and months and months after they wrapped?
That's true.
I
That's
mean,
true.
that
And
doesn't.
these movies always have reshoots. So,
Yeah.
But I also saw another thing about additional delays. Apparently, Disney is not wanting to pay their actors a fair rate.
well, that's the whole strike.
Right.
That's what the whole strike is about.
Right. So
Yeah. I mean, they're saying, all these movies are going to be delayed more. Captain America 4, Thunderbolts, they're all at risk of being delayed. The longer this goes on, the worse it's going to get. Yeah. Also, the Boys spinoff Gen V, which is a lot of people have loved it. I still haven't watched it yet. I guess I'm going to because the reviews have been really good, but it's already been renewed for season 2.
Oh, wow.
And maybe we should watch it before season 4 of The Boys comes out.
Is it in the past or anything, or is it just right now?
No, I think it's right now.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things so far.
Yeah, Eric has been watching it, and he says that it's really good. So yeah, I guess I got to check it out at some point. You know,
Yep.
get yourself caught up, because if you watch season 4 of The Boys, maybe there was something in this that you could have missed.
I think what I read was this is going to lead directly into season 4.
Right.
And then season 4 is going to lead directly into season 2 of Gen V.
Okay.
From what I was
Yeah,
hearing.
because I mean, I watched. We did on the podcast. We reviewed the cartoons, like the Boys spinoff. What the fuck was it called? It was like the Boys something, but it was a bunch of just different stories, like animated stories that were like all the animations had different styles, and it was really good. So I got to check this out. Also, Matt Reeves is being sued for stealing the story for the Batman. DC writer Chris Wozniak claims he attempted to settle the dispute quietly, but is now ready to whip their ass in court, as he says. But someone should sue Wozniak for ripping off the plot of Seven, because that's really the true stealing. Was just, hey, let's make Seven with Batman and just copy everything, because that was what that movie was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that could have been great, though. I'm still so angry that they fucked that movie up.
Yeah, I know.
Batman going after a serial killer in like a dark drama. That could have been so good.
I've already said everything I need to say about this movie multiple times over.
Right.
But
We don't need to
yeah,
go into it.
it's that is what it is. Maybe the next one will be better. Stop being such an emo pussy, because that's not who Batman is.
No.
Batman fucks. That's what he does.
Batman fucks. That
Batman
is true.
fucks. Bruce Wayne
I'm
fucks.
a virgin.
Catwoman's begging for it in this movie, and he's like, no.
Every
Fuck
Batman
you.
fucks.
Except for this one.
Except for this one.
The Alien franchise is back with a new movie.
Oh, boy.
Coming out next year. Ridley Scott did not direct, but he saw it, and he says it's fucking great.
Sure it is.
Why? Why?
I knew you
A
would.
reboot, a sequel. What are we
If-
talking here?
If
I
we're
don't know.
making
I think it's like a reboot or something. Yeah.
Re-sequel.
if we're gonna make a non-Ridley Scott Alien movie, we had Neil Blomkamp was gonna make a direct sequel to Aliens. He was gonna bring Hicks back and Ripley back. It was gonna be beautiful.
Yeah.
But Ridley Scott just wanted to keep doing his Prometheus shit.
This, like the Terminator, has just gone on for too long.
Yeah.
And Ridley Scott didn't direct, but I don't trust his opinion anymore, because he did House of Gucci. He's had like so many box office bombs now in a row that it's gotta be like his career's gotta be over by now. Like House of Gucci, and then he did it's
getting close.
He did another like King Arthur, like with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, I think were both in that King Arthur movie. Like no one even went to the theaters to see it. It made such little money. He blamed like young people for it not making money, but it's like, dude, no one wants to see like a King Arthur movie like anymore. Like there's been 20 of them.
The Last Duel.
Yeah.
Yeah. It happens to most people. I mean, look what happened to Ric Flair. I mean, it just, it happens.
Well, yeah.
Flair. Also, Oppenheimer is coming out on home release. I think it's November 22nd. But I looked up the Steelbook. It's pretty basic, so I'm not going to be buying. It's just, there's just nothing to it. It's just a Steelbook. It's basic. There's nothing really special about it. So, I mean, I'll probably watch it again at some point. But I was talking about this earlier, how like when the Oscars come around, they just got to give Chris Nolan like all the Oscars. Like, hey, sorry, we didn't give you any awards before.
Oscars, they're so famous for that.
I know.
They give directors awards like way later.
Right.
Just because, you did a movie. So we'll just, like Spielberg, right?
Yeah.
Like it's almost like a lifetime achievement.
Yeah.
When they finally get
like
their award.
Leonardo DiCaprio for The Revenant. It's like, are you kidding me?
Right.
There's 10 other movies that he should have won it for.
Yeah.
Not this movie.
Yeah, like how Return of the King got all those Oscars when that movie was not the best of them. It's just that movie got the Oscars for the whole trilogy.
I thought that was the
Right.
best one out of all of them, though. You didn't think so?
I thought Two Towers was the best one.
Yeah, I mean, it's got its charm, but it's still talking trees.
That's true. I did like
Still talking.
I
trees.
did like Return of the King the most, but I'm not really a big Lord of the Rings guy. Really, not at all.
Yeah.
So, also Taylor Swift, the Eras tour beat Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon in the domestic box office this weekend.
Wonderful.
Swift got 31 million in its second week, and Scorsese got 23 million its first week.
Good job, Hollywood.
Yeah.
What are the reviews on that so far? Killers.
I don't know. I haven't really looked it up. I'm interested, but it's 3.5 hours. I'll watch
Oh,
it.
God.
I'll watch it at home.
He's got to stop.
He's got to stop.
Dude.
He's got to stop making 4-hour movies.
We can't go. We have to hold our pee.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that's all I got pretty much. The rest is just some RIPs. Do you have anything, Aaron?
One of them was RIP. You're probably going to hit it. But I just had one little dumb thing. It's so the whole SAG strike thing. Apparently, they're getting so petty. They're telling their actors not to dress up as popular characters from the struck content for Halloween and then post the images on social media. So,
funny.
don't go out as a Ghostbuster. Don't go out as Iron Man. It's just silly. It's
Right.
just getting silly.
Right.
Jesus. Well, RIP to Burt Young, who played Paulie in the Rocky films. He died last week at the age of 83.
I didn't know that.
You didn't? Oh, yeah. He passed away. Stallone said something about him.
Damn.
And then October 17th, 2023 was the day that Iron Man died in Avengers Endgame. We finally caught up
the RIP.
to the present. RIP Iron Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, on to Evil Dead 2. I mean, this is a movie that really put Sam Raimi on the map, right?
Yeah, because he still wasn't like a made man yet after the first one.
Yeah.
Stephen King had to he was such a big fan of the first one. He had to convince a bunch of investors to make this movie.
Stephen King?
Without Stephen King, this would have never gotten made.
Okay.
And that's in the book. That's also online.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He fought to make this happen.
This is really kind of the polished version of the first one.
kind of right. That's why it's almost like it's not a reboot. It's not a sequel. It's kind of like, let's put $3 million into this and see what we can do with it.
I was trying.
Because there was zero budget for the first one.
Yeah, I was trying to explain this to Andrew earlier. It's like this is not a direct sequel. They
Right.
kind of like recap the first movie in the first 5 to 10 minutes. It's kind of strange.
Right. That's why it goes so fast.
Right.
And it's funny when you watch this movie, you could really see how similar his style is with the Spider-Man trilogy, which we reviewed earlier this year.
Oh, yeah. You can
just how
totally
like
see
he
it.
makes his villains scary in Spider-Man, the jump scares and everything. Which
Jesus. The most I ever saw it was in Spider-Man 2 when he first wakes up and the octopus arms are like that's total Evil Dead.
Absolutely.
Sam
that scene
Raimi.
is awesome.
100%.
With the close-ups of the people screaming and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So we open with the Book of Dead intro. This movie escalates very quickly, by the way. Like they're just driving. They're like, all right, we're going to this cabin. Oh, we're in the cabin. Oh, let's change. And then like, hey, and it's we talked about it earlier how like the acting is weird and it seems like it's on purpose.
Why didn't they just... So this movie came out after some of the Rocky sequels. Why didn't they just do the Rocky thing where you just do like a 2 or 3 minute thing of clips from the previous movie to get you up to speed? Why did they have to like shoot new scenes?
Maybe they
Because I
didn't
think,
want to
like,
show
kinda-
any of those old scenes.
I think that's
right?
it. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, probably.
Like this
true.
was zero budget stuff, so we don't want to like show you any of that.
Right.
But he's like, hey, baby, you want to have some champagne? And it's just like, what's happening? Ash listens to a recording of a man who says he bought the Book of the Dead. He brought the Book of the Dead to the cabin. Meanwhile, Ash's girlfriend just wants some dick. You know, she's like, come on, he's listening to this thing. And then I love the camera shot of like, the Deadites, like point of view.
the evil.
Yeah, the evil or the, flying or running to the cabin and crashing through the window.
Yeah.
Like, even though it's very low budget, it's still like, it's still really cool to see.
It's done really well. It's scary.
Yeah.
yeah.
Ash's girlfriend gets possessed and he immediately cuts her head off and buries her. Like, it's so quick.
Less than 10 minutes into the movie, we've got a burial.
Yeah.
Great.
But it's just like, oh my God, you're possessed. Head off, buried.
But he
Okay,
doesn't know
thank
she's
God
possessed.
that's over
Like,
with.
she could just be like Halloween tricking him, trying to scare him.
Right.
He cuts her head right off.
Yeah. Then another deadite or monster, whatever, pushes Ash like a mile away. And the shot of that is just insane because he's
So
just like
good.
spinning, like
So
facing the
good.
camera. It's fucking hilarious. And he lifts his head from the shit water and he's a deadite now. But then he quickly changes back to normal because the sun comes out.
Which is super weird because if you've seen all the movies and then Ash versus Evil Dead, the show, there are plenty of deadites in Sun. The sun does not make the evil go away. So
Yeah.
that's kind of an
It was
odd...
weird. Yeah, it was weird.
That's an odd thing.
So Ash gets in his car. He tries to leave. He drives off, but the bridge was destroyed. And then he just-
bridge is out.
And he's just like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. And then it's nighttime again. And the evil's chasing after him. So he drives away, but he crashes and flies through the windshields.
He's dead, right?
Right. Yeah. And then the POV shot of like the evil or whatever, like flying through the car. That's impressive.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Going through the back window,
Yes.
through the windshield.
Yeah. And then the evil chases Ash through the house. Just like a little, just the camera basically, the cameraman chasing Bruce Campbell around the house.
And it was all one shot, right? It
Yeah.
was just...
It looked like it.
Yeah.
yeah.
For sure. Later, Ash enters a room and finds a piano that he was playing earlier, but now it's playing on its own. Ash's girlfriend crawls out of her grave, puts her head back on, and then starts dancing for him. And then she grabs Ash through the window and she's like, dance with me. But then her head falls off. And then all of a sudden he's just sitting in a rocking chair screaming like a madman.
And this is just like, this is straight out of like Jason and the Argonauts stop motion. It's just so crazy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt like I was watching Terminator.
Yeah.
Like at the end when he turns into the skeleton, it's just
Yes.
like claymation, like
Yeah.
rah, rah, rah.
Yeah.
But it's great because like when she's reaching through the window, pulling his head, like so much of this movie is just Bruce Campbell, like just being a physical comedian.
Doing his own thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Like he's just holding these fake hands and then just bashing his head on the window if you think about it.
Yep.
It's hilarious. And then her head falls on his lap and she bites his hand. And then we have Bruce Campbell pretending to fight a human head.
So awesome.
And this is apparently it was all improvised. And Sam Raimi just went with the first take because it was so good.
Sure.
He's like, it's not going to get any better than that.
Right.
So let's
Yep.
move on.
So he traps her head in a vice and then sees an outline of a chainsaw. Which
It's almost like from one of the movies or one of those video games where like you see an outline, then you get it.
yeah.
I don't know what game is that? Is that
I don't know.
It's probably a lot of games.
Yeah.
the zombie Modern Warfare, Call of Duty?
Maybe, yeah.
You play the zombie one that does all
Right.
of that.
Yeah. But he's like, chainsaw. And like that was like the quote of the movie that always stuck with me.
Yeah.
You know, even though it's been 20 years, like I remember when me and my friends were watching that, we laughed our ass off because chainsaw. And then right as he says that, her body busts into the shed with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
But then he like hits her, I think, and then she accidentally chainsaws her fucking neck.
Yes.
Like
just-
which is And then he grabs the chainsaw and he cuts her head in half, but we only see the shadow like shot, but it's still again a really cool shot.
yeah, blood splashing on the light bulb. The whole room
And that's
turns
like
red.
any good filmmaker knows, like if we don't have the budget for a shot, how do I make it so that it still is a good shot?
This
and that
mo-
was a good
This
shot.
movie has got to be shown like in any kind of film class of low budget, just guerrilla
Yeah.
movie making. This is Exhibit A.
Right. So then Ash finds a shotgun and the rocking chair starts rocking on his own. So he points the shotgun at it and it eventually stops. And he's like, okay, I guess I'm just seeing things. Then he looks at his reflection in the mirror and his own reflection grabs him and says, we just cut our girlfriend's head off with a chainsaw.
I don't think we're fine.
I don't think we're fine.
It was a great. It was so well done because you really think it's him looking in a mirror.
Yeah. And then his reflection starts choking him, but then we see that he's choking himself. Then his own hand starts attacking him, and he's just like, give me back my hand. And Ash's hand just starts beating the shit out of him, and I immediately thought of Liar Liar.
Of
And this
course.
was before Liar Liar.
Right.
Like 10 years before liar, liar, Jim Carrey beating the shit out of himself in the bathroom.
Yep.
Like, you could even think, like, this was the inspiration for that.
What are you doing?
Scene.
I'm kicking my
Yeah.
ass.
Do you mind?
Yeah.
And then I just love he keeps, like, just smashing plates and bottles over his head
Again,
until he passes out.
total Three Stooges, that whole scene.
That's true. I also love how the hand, like, has a voice almost, like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I really like that. It kind of like, it's funny because, like, you guys have seen the Eric clones, like, I mean, Joe was in the second one, but, like, the first one ended with, like, this hand that just attacks me. And, like, I probably saw this movie first. It was probably inspired by this fucking movie.
Probably.
You know? Like, yeah, it's just weird. So then the hand, he's knocked out. The hand sees a cleaver and starts, like, crawling. He's, like, dragging his body towards the cleaver. But then Ash stabs his hand with a knife and then chainsaws his demonic hand
And that's
off.
cool because you don't see that happening.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of off camera and
Yeah.
like all of a sudden
You just see the knife go through the
stab
hand.
to the hand.
Cuts his own hand off and goes, "Who's laughing now?" And then he puts the hand under a bucket with books on top, but it manages to get out.
Of course.
The hand gets caught in a mousetrap for a second and then gives him the finger. And then Ash shoots through the wall and just a little bit of blood oozes out. But then a fire hose amount of blood just shoots on him.
It's a big hand.
And then the blood turns black and it gets all over him. And yeah, it's fucking hilarious. So then Ash sits on the chair, but it breaks. And there's a deer head that he was looking at earlier that wasn't moving. Now the deer head's laughing at him. The lamp, the books, everything in the room is laughing at him. So Ash joins in and he starts laughing with them. And that's like one of the most famous shots of the movie was him laughing, like looking right into the camera, like, ah! Like you
cross-eyed,
see,
yeah.
Yeah, you see that GIF on Twitter all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Iconic shot. Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the couple who owns the cabin, I guess it's at least that daughter's like parents' cabin or whatever. Like they're getting off the plane and they want to go there. They're driving, but they see that the bridge is out. And then some creepy couple offers to help them get there. And it's just a weird scene because everyone's like smiling weird. Like even the daughter of those, people like is smiling weird.
You
They
mean
just-
the acting's bad?
The acting's bad.
Really?
They just happened to be waiting by a busted out bridge for someone to come along.
We'll help you for $100. Okay, you got yourself a deal.
This-
okay.
This
But
is
you have to
totally-
carry my bags.
Yeah.
This is totally not
Sure.
going to end in a rape.
My Book of Dead bat, I guess. I don't know. So then Ash hears a noise at the front door and he shoots. He opens the door and the creepy guy jumps on him and beats him up. The woman assumes that Ash killed her parents. So they lock him in the basement and then listen to the recording of the woman's dad talking about how his wife became possessed. So he buried her in the basement.
Uh-oh.
And then right as he says that, the wife zombie like pops up and starts walking towards Ash. So they let him out. And by the way, you pointed this out because I was looking at the credits earlier and it showed Ted Raimi's in the movie.
Yep.
And Ted Raimi plays the zombie wife.
The zombie mom, yeah.
Which, if you don't know who Ted Raimi is, he was Jay Jonah's like assistant in the Spider-Man films, like the goofy guy with the black hair.
Yep.
That looks a lot like Sam Raimi.
He's been in 100 different movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's so fucking great. The zombie they let Ash out of the basement, and then the zombie face like changes like 10 times really quick, just
Yeah.
like and then Ash stomps on its head and an eyeball flies out into one of the woman's mouth,
Yeah, like into her mouth.
right into her mouth. And then they trap the zombie back in the basement, but then she turns back to normal and she starts singing to her daughter. And the daughter starts to fall for it, but Ash is like, no, I've already been here before. Because Ash's girlfriend did that to him earlier,
It's the
too.
most fucked up thing the Deadites do.
It's a trap.
Yeah, it's a trap. And then the daughter's boyfriend all of a sudden turns into a Deadite. And it's kind of funny because you could see, if you pay attention, you can see the strings like holding him up as he floats in the room. But he's just saying like some demonic shit. And then Ash strikes him with an axe a bunch of times as green blood splatters all over the room.
Apparently, they were trying to make the different blood colors because they were trying to avoid an X rating.
Oh.
But they got an X rating anyway.
That's funny.
And then it was released unrated, which is their way of saying like,
Okay.
hey, it's
Yeah,
X.
because there was red blood, black blood, green blood, and then blue blood at the end.
Right.
That's right. Then creepy guy notices that the trail they arrived from has disappeared. Then they hear a bunch of crazy noises in another room, so they check it out. They see the girl's father, who is now like a floating ghost head, and he tells them, "Your salvation is in the pages of the book. Oh God!" He just like kind of fades away. And then that one woman's like, "Baby, you're holding my hand too tight." And he's like, "I ain't holding your hand."
I ain't holding your hand.
And then we see that Ash's possessed hand was holding her hand. So that woman runs into the woods by herself.
Yeah, that
And
makes sense.
a demonic tree grabs her, takes off some of her clothes, I guess, and then just like brings her, like just drags her all the way to the fucking tree. It's funny. Yeah, go ahead.
They toned it down from the first one because there's a worse tree scene in the first one.
Does it just like rape her?
Yeah.
Yeah, why did they do that? Why did they not do it in this one? Because I mean, look,
They didn't want a
I
triple X rating.
I
They
just-
didn't want
yeah.
the X.
I just expected something, because once you see that they cut away, I'm like, I guess we'll come back to her, but we never come back to her. I thought they were going to show her at least like strung up all dead on the tree or something.
That's true. Yeah, you never do come back to her.
Then they read the book and they see a drawing of a man in a blue shirt holding up a chainsaw.
Ooh.
And the daughter's like, "Oh, this was hundreds of years ago. He led the revolution against
man from the
blah, blah, blah.
sky."
Man from the sky." And yeah, it's fucking great.
Oh boy.
Then creepy guy grabs the shotgun and he throws the pages in the basement because he wants to find his girlfriend, Bobby Joe. Bobby
It's
Joe.
the fucking zombie movie trope where the one person just
Ruins
loses his
everything.
mind and opens the door and lets the zombies in.
Right.
So Ash turns back into a deadite, throws the guy into a tree. Deadite Ash goes after the woman, and she thinks he's busting through the door, so she stabs him, but she accidentally stabs the creepy guy in the stomach. And then the zombie mom pulls the creepy guy in the basement, and she's trying to save him, but as she's like grabbing his legs, like blood again, like just a fire hose blood just like shooting out of the basement everywhere.
Amazing.
Fucking great. Then Deadite Ash beats up the woman, but then he finds his girlfriend's necklace, and that turns him back to normal.
Back to Bruce Banner. Yep.
Bruce Banner. Yeah, that's true. He does like, yeah. And I was just like, that's the power of love, I guess.
That's the power of love.
Speaking of movies we have to review. However, the woman still tries to kill him. Like, she can't tell the difference. I mean, he looks a lot different when he's
Way different.
when he's a
But
deadite.
when that thing's been trying to kill you for 20 minutes, yeah, I might take a few swings before I
Yeah.
trust
Well,
it.
and the one in the basement looked like her
True,
mom.
that's true. But I like when he was like, I'm okay now, and she's like, all right. And he's like, no, stop it. Yeah. Then we have a little montage scene of them going to the shed, and Ash attaches the chainsaw to his arm.
God damn it. I marked out so hard to this. This is where we first see Ash.
Yeah.
We get to see the boomstick for the first time.
Yeah.
We get to see the chainsaw in his arm for the first time. And he fucking says groovy.
Yeah.
Groovy.
Oh, it's so good.
Saws off part of the shotgun. Yeah, it's great. They head to the basement. He finds the Book of Dead Pages. The creepy guy's skeleton hits Ash. I guess she ate him. She ate him fast, too. Like, he was all
bones.
bones at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Ash finds the pages, tosses them to the woman, and the woman starts reading the passages, but then she hears the zombie wife beating up Ash, so she stops reading.
Stops reading the thing that could stop all of this.
It's not smart.
Just not reading.
Zombie wife attacks the woman. That's where we like see her whole body, and it's just like old, like grandma, like saggy tits, saggy everything. It's just gross.
Right.
But Ash comes to the rescue. He punches her. He knocks her down with a double axe handle.
Yeah.
But then zombie wife, like zombie granny, starts hulking up.
Good job,
Like
Ted
she's
Raimi.
literally like doing like, and this is only like a couple years after like Hulk Hogan showed up, you know?
Right.
Maybe a year. Yeah.
Ash punch. She also grows like a really long neck, Axe punches her, but it does nothing. It's like, you have a chainsaw, man.
Yeah.
And then the woman starts singing to her zombie mother to distract her. And then Ash just cuts her to pieces. And then the zombie, granny's like, I'll swallow your soul. I'll swallow your soul. Swallow this.
And he pulled out his gun.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
And then Ash and the woman look like they're about to kiss, but the trees start like attacking the cabin. The woman starts reading passages again, but Ash's possessed hand stabs her in the back. And then it's funny because, I also made Backstab for my senior video, like in 2004. And at the end, someone gets stabbed in the back, Backstab.
Sure.
It was all from this movie.
Nice.
I ripped this whole movie off.
Nice.
Then the tree grabs Ash. It's about to eat him, but the woman continues the passages and a portal opens up. Ash chainsaws like the tree's eyeball, and that's where we get the blue blood. It lets him go. And then the portal sucks everything up, including Ash.
Yeah.
And Ash falls to medieval times where all the people there are like ready to kill him. But then a flying monster attacks them and Ash shoots it down. And they're like, hail the man who fell from the sky to free us from the Deadites. Hail, hail. And Ash is just like, no,
Right.
hail, no, hail, no. And that's where it ends, like with this great cliffhanger.
So perfect. That leads directly into Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
Like the first scene of Army of Darkness is this. So good.
Yep.
And this might blow your mind, but I have not seen Army of Darkness.
That's fine.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of movies out there,
Next
but
week.
I would totally be fine with that.
as your friend, it's my duty to make you watch this.
Yeah, if the fans want it, if they like this, if you want us to do Army of Darkness next week, that's totally fine. Let us know.
It's
Because I want to see it.
It's not as much horror with the Halloween theme, but goddamn, it's good.
better.
It's so
better.
much fun.
Better, yeah.
It's not as gory, but it's not scary. It's just fun.
I remember when we saw Evil Dead 2, we were planning on watching it, but maybe I missed it or something. But yeah, I don't think I saw Army of Darkness. Pretty sure. Any other interesting trivia about the movie?
I just the budget was actually 3.6 million, which sounds like a lot for this movie.
I mean, the makeup was awesome.
Yeah. And you had all that claymation stuff that they did.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right.
And then it grossed 6 million. But how much has it made since then when it became a cult classic?
Yeah.
It's listed as number 19 on Entertainment Weekly's top 50 cult classics of all time.
Yeah.
So I mean that's pretty high.
That is high.
19th biggest cult film of all time.
So
Plus, they're still they just made Evil Dead, a reboot.
they're making reboots.
But it's like a serious.
Yeah,
It was like a serious version.
Serious, scary, gory thing. These movies are so beloved. That cabin. This is the last movie where we saw that cabin. The cabin doesn't exist anymore, but apparently, the stone fireplace is still out there, even though the cabin's gone. And there are fans that still walk out in the woods just to go find that fireplace to say I was at the cabin.
Wow.
This is a beloved
Pass.
Oh, so that was actually that was a real cabin
Yeah.
in the woods.
Yeah.
And the cabin's destroyed, but the fireplace is still there.
Yeah, that's
that's
all
funny.
that's all that's left of it. And
I would
there's-
not go there. No.
Apparently
No.
there's a way to get there, but if you ask Bruce Campbell, he's like, I'm not telling you how to get there, but if you ask the right people, you can find out how to get
But
there.
what if you go and the bridge is out?
Oh,
Or what if it gets dark?
Exactly.
You're dead.
I guess we'll have to get groovy.
Oh, it got dark. Well, we're all dead.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So what would you rate this?
Oh man.
as a horror comedy,
Horror comedy.
a 10 out of 10. It's so fun. It's so much fun.
I would say it's 7 out of 10 as a movie. I'm not rushing to watch this again and again and again. It's a great movie. I think Army of Darkness brings it all home for me.
Okay. I think for what it is, it's like an 8 out of 10 for me. I really like it. You know what I mean? Maybe an 8.5, but yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I really like it. And it was really cool watching that again 20 years later.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, it's not going to be something that I'm going to watch all the time, but I still really, really enjoyed it. It just makes me laugh. It's funny. Let's see what our fans thought. Pull up fan questions right here. All right, here we go. PCJ, such a great classic film. Can you name any other horror scary movies that actually has good sequels? Also, if Josh joined the show this week, no, he's not here, so no.
So fuck that.
Any other horror movies that have good sequels? I mean, we talked about it last week. I like Saw 2, but not the rest of them.
Saw 2 was good.
Seventh Sense was good.
Seventh Sense.
No, did I just no?
Oh.
In the Friday the 13th series, the fourth one, oddly enough, most people think is the best one. It's got what's his name? One of the Coreys, Corey Feldman,
Really?
as a little kid. Yeah, most people think the fourth one was the best one.
Nice.
Okay. Paul, just watched the trailer for the Marvels, and the CGI looks horrible. Is the CGI getting worse in these types of films?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I just think they want the budgets to be less, so they're not going to spend as much.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
On that.
I mean, it's weird. Like people have done YouTube videos showing here's CGI in movies in 2010, and here's CGI in movies today, and the 2010 CGI is way better.
It's just these fucking assholes sitting in boardrooms saying, I want to get Infinity War Endgame box office, but I want to spend 25% on the budget.
Yeah, well, you're not going to get it. Because, by the way, the Marvels is going to be like the MCU's first big bomb. Really.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're all predicting that's what it's going to be, and I think they're right. It's going to bomb. No one's going to go see this movie.
No.
I really don't even care to see it.
Yeah.
It doesn't look very good.
It does not.
Carlos Ramirez saw Exorcist Believer today, and I liked it. I guess that's a new one. What hurt this movie is having too many after a perfect first film. Also, why is Josh such a chicken? Bark, 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 bark.
Correct.
I don't know if he's talking about Exorcist, what hurt this movie, or
Yeah,
I guess
that's
so,
what-
right?
I think that's what he's
because there's
talking
been
about.
a million Exorcist
Yeah, they made a
movies.
ton of bad Exorcist sequels.
Bill Capri, Pushfire Barry, horror subgenre you enjoy the most, slasher, paranormal, zombie.
Ooh.
I would push zombie, Barry, slasher, fire, paranormal. Although I guess this was technically paranormal, but it felt more, yeah.
Well, slasher films can be kind of ridiculous. Paranormal can be more fun sometimes, but those are close. But yeah, I agree with pushing.
Zombies.
Pushing
zombies,
zombie.
World War
and
Z.
Firing slasher. Yeah, I agree.
So many great zombie movies, yeah.
McMahon Helmsley Regime. Andrew, what do you think of Spider-Man 2? I mean, I've only played a few hours, but so far I love it. It's awesome. My favorite thing is the Venom statue that I have now. It's fucking great. It says also the new Evil Dead Rise is definitely worth a check out and review.
Good.
Yeah, I mean,
They're definitely a departure from the Evil Dead movies.
Yeah.
You
They're
watched
more just
you watched the Ash series,
the Ash versus Evil Dead. Yeah,
and you said it was really good.
yeah. It's like Joe. You loved Army of Darkness, right?
Yes.
Imagine the fun of Army of Darkness with a little bit of the gore from this movie.
Oh,
And that's Ash versus Evil Dead.
sounds great.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Great
Right.
show.
Dylan Andrew Cook ratings for Spider-Man 2. Again, really good. Just haven't played enough of it. Tone EC, even if he hates comic book movies, will you consider reviewing Martin Scorsese films such as Goodfellas, Wolf of Wall Street, Casino, or even Taxi Driver?
Andrew, would you consider watching Goodfellas? Is that movie good
Let me
enough for
think
you to
about
watch?
that. That's just going to be a hard movie to review.
I would love, you've talked about how you're a freak because you watch other people.
Yes.
Watching movies because
Yes.
you love seeing their. I would love to watch Goodfellas with you and just watch your face while we're watching Goodfellas.
Sure. I've seen it so many times, though. I mean, I'd be down for reviewing all of these. It's just, they're kind of hard. I feel like they would be hard to review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodfellas is 3 hours. Wolf of Wall Street's 3 hours, and it's just it's chaos. And we could do it. I would love to watch Taxi Driver again. I've seen that a couple times.
I would love to do those, but it seems like what most of y'all want is fun movies, superhero movies, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
We could do it definitely down the road though. We'll see.
see.
Red shirt guy. I have a friend who interviewed Bruce Campbell and told him I would love to see you star in a $100 million movie? And Bruce replied, I would take that $100 million and instead make $10 million movies.
$10 million movie. Yeah.
Oh, $10 million movie.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell said that so many times, how he would every day prefer to star in a low budget movie than be like a character actor in Spider-Man or something. That's just his thing.
Wow, he was great in those. I mean, we even talked about in, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, his little cameo was so great.
Right.
And it was funny because, dude, we didn't even mention it at the time. Maybe it's because we didn't see Evil Dead in so long, but in Multiverse of Madness, his hands attack him. Remember?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
His fucking hand beats him up. Like, that's a total callback to this movie.
It is.
100%.
It
And we
is.
just missed it because it's been so long since we've seen Evil Dead 2.
I agree.
It's
we
fucking
missed
great.
It. Yep.
Rizzler, oh man, was there a greater character than Ash in Evil Dead and Army of Darkness? What an unsung hero Bruce Campbell is. His one-liners are ageless. I will say, this is my boomstick when I'm holding the shotgun at work.
Goddamn right.
Can't think of
Wait,
any
what?
Hollywood actor. I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't think of any Hollywood actor whose career had better one-liners than Campbell.
Give me some sugar, baby.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so good.
Tim, Andrew, who's your favorite Spider-Man villain in the games? I imagine it's gonna. I'm just reading it for the sake, but not that it has anything to do with this podcast. But I imagine it's gonna be Venom when it's all said and done. I mean, it seems awesome, yeah. But I have not seen Venom yet in the game. Yeah. So that is all for fan questions, which means that is all for the podcast this week. Make sure you subscribe wherever you're viewing us. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Hollywood Hog Pod. Become a supporter of the show at patreon.com/Hollywood Hogwash. Watch season 2 of Loki with us. And then we'll be here next week for, really, think about it. It's like the Halloween episode
Oh.
of Hollywood Hogwash. Let us know. You want us to continue this? Do Army of Darkness? I'd be totally fine with that. Or should we do another classic horror film? Let us know. And we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.